Hey folks, Eric Bray, Focus Fishing Guide Service. Got another video fishing report from Table Rock. It is Tuesday, August the 14th. Pretty much fished every day up until today. Kind of got rained out today. Kind of wish I was fishing today though, because it's not nearly as stormy as I said it was going to be. Just some off and on showers. Probably would have been a good day to go out and fish a little bit shallower, but we've been catching fish. Every trip we've been catching fish the last week or so, some deep, some shallow. As far as our lake level is concerned, we're at 913.6 as of this morning. Puts us 3.5 feet below normal, which is not bad. If we get the rain they're predicting over today, tonight, and tomorrow, supposed to get somewhere between 1.5 to 3 inches of rain. If we get that much rain, it'll definitely bring the lake up to where we would need to be for normal pool, but it's certainly not raining as hard as they said it was going to today. But we are catching fish, a lot of fish being caught every trip. But you know, if you guys are coming down, say you're going to fish the lower end of the lake, we've still got a lot of the same bites going on that we've had for the last 2 to 3 weeks, heck, last month and a half. Still have a topwater tied on. I can't tell you guys, you can go 5-6 days in a row and just have them slap at it and not eat it, but then that 7th day, boom, they're on it real good. So have your favorite topwater tied on, whether it's a spook, a Sammy, Yozuri popper, whopper plopper, whatever you want to throw. Have it tied on, have it ready to go, laying on your deck, because you just never know when these fish are going to push the shad to the surface and actually start feeding on them. Drop shot bite's probably my most consistent bite right now. Not just in the dam area, but all over the lake, catching a lot of fish on a shad shape, a lot of fish on a cut tail, a lot of fish on the UV drop shot worm, and basically in just a couple of different locations. We're still catching them out there on those gravel flats and points. You got to kind of look for them though. They've been anywhere from 25 to almost 40 feet deep at the dam area, so you got to kind of move around, move the boat around. But when you find them, you catch one, pay attention, because usually if you catch one, there'll be several more that you can catch in that group. Have been catching them out of trees pretty good as well. Seems like if I can't catch them on gravel, I'll go to the trees and I can catch them, and vice versa. It's different each day. And then we have been catching them around docks too, around the outside of those deeper docks on those cables, especially where the cables get down to about that 25-foot range. Really catching a lot of fish. A lot of better Kentucky's fishing around cables this past week. Football jig bite has been pretty strong as well. Jewel ½ ounce or 5/8 ounce football jig, Okeechobee blue, green pumpkin candy, peanut butter and jelly has been a real good color down by the dam, matched up with a green pumpkin J-tail. Most of those fish are out on those gravel runouts, anywhere from, I'm going to say 18 to 30. Had a day last week where we did catch them as shallow as 15, but consistently it seems like they're around that 18-20 foot range out to about 30 foot, so keep your boat in about 35. Make a long cast and just work it real slow along the bottom. If you've got some brush piles or rock piles marked that you know where they are in that range, definitely fish those, because you'll catch a lot more fish out of some cover than you will just on a barren bank. And then the spoon bite's still strong too, doing good with the Jewel scuba spoon out there on gravel and around boat docks, and the Dixie Jet spoon. Been doing pretty good with the Dixie Jet in 3/4 ounce and some of the bigger boat docks, pitching it back in, letting it flutter down, and most of those fish have been suspended around 25 foot around those boat docks. So have a Dixie Jet tied on and pitch it back into some docks, scuba spoon around the docks, or out there on those gravel runouts as well. Go to the Kimberling City area, same bites are working. There's really not a lot of difference between the dam and Kimberling City right now. So we're still catching a lot of fish on a drop shot, shad shaped worm, cut tail worm, UV drop shot worm, gravel points some days, trees others. It really seems like gravel points and humps are a little bit better in the Kimberling City area than they are down by the dam, probably because they don't have as much pressure. There's not as many people fishing in the Kimberling City area as there is down by the dam. Working those gravel points and humps anywhere from about 22 to about 38 to 40 feet deep. You'll see them on your graph. It seems like in the Kimberling City area they're grouped up a little bit better. If you catch one, you can kind of get into a school of them, catch several fish when you find them out there on those gravel points and humps. Also catching them in the treetops and the creeks as well. Look for those trees that top off around 30-35 feet deep to be the best trees. Most of the fish will be right on top of them, just waiting for shad to come by and drop your drop shot down on those fish. Doing good with the scuba spoon, doing good with the Dixie Jet as well. The scuba spoon's been really good out on gravel points. Seems like if I find an active group of fish out there on a gravel point, I can do really well with the scuba spoon. And then the Dixie Jet's been really good for those fish that are chasing shad. Throwing it past them, burning it through them, and just kill it right there in those shad. You'll catch a lot of fish doing that. And then again around the boat docks as well. Look for those deeper boat docks. Hit those last few slips that are over 30 feet deep or more, and letting it flutter down. Seems like I catch a lot of fish as that spoon's fluttering down. Usually around that 20-25 foot range seems to be where I'm getting bit, but even as deep as 30. Jewel football jigs working in the Kimberling City area as well. 1/2 ounce, 5/8 ounce, Okeechobee blue, green pumpkin candy, peanut butter and jelly. All those colors are working, matched up with a J-tail. Again, those fish are 18 to about 25, 30 feet deep, and just working it slow along the bottom. If you find a brush pile, if you know where there's a brush pile or rock pile, make sure you hit it from a couple of different angles, because those really seem to be concentrating the fish out on those gravel runouts and gravel points. Go up the James, and same bites are working up there that are working on the rest of the lake, but it changes when you get, say, above Point 12 or up around Cape Fair and further up. Definitely want to have a topwater tied on. There's definitely been some topwater fish being caught. Again, it's not a consistent bite. I feel like this rain may help us. It might cool that water down a little bit more and get those fish up closer to the surface, or maybe even back into the creeks a little bit more following the shad, and you should be able to catch them on a topwater a little bit better, not just in the James, but all over the lake. Spook, Sammy, Yozuri popper, whopper plopper, whatever you want to throw, make sure you have that tied on. Drop shot rig, cut tail worm, shad shaped worm, UV drop shot worm on those gravel points, on those gravel runouts. A little bit on the trees, but it really seems like the fish are more point focused when you get up the James. Had a real good day up there last week where we had about 40 in 4 hours, all on a shad shape and on a cut tail. Scuba spoon's been working up there too, those same locations. If I find a group of fish that are fairly active, rather than dropping the drop shot down to them, I've been dropping down a scuba spoon just because I can cover water faster. It gets down there faster. I can get fish in the boat faster with the scuba spoon. Dixie Jet's been pretty good up there as well, casting it around those schooling fish or pitching it back into the deeper boat docks. Not really a lot of deeper boat docks once you get above Ants Creek, but there are a few deeper boat docks that we have been catching them out of, pitching it back in there, letting it flutter down, and again, most of those fish are in that 25 to 30 foot range when you're pitching it back in there. Get up above Point 12, big worm bite is still going on really good. Throwing a 10, 12 inch worm into brush piles anywhere from about 12 to 18 foot deep and working it slowly through the brush. You'll catch a few fish doing that. Football jigs working actually all over the James. 1/2 ounce seems to be a better size up there. A little bit darker color seems to work a little bit better, like brown purple flash or Missouri craw matched up with a little bit bigger trailer, something like a small brush hog really seems to be a better trailer up there. And then the deep crankbait bite, 6XD, whatever you like to throw as far as a deep crankbait. I like the 6XD and Sexy Shad, fishing ledges up there and fishing it around deeper brush piles up there. That bite can be really good if you get your timing right. If you get the timing right, you can load the boat in a hurry, but sometimes your timing's not on, so you're not going to catch as many on it, but they are eating a deep crankbait up there too. Go up into the White River, and the White River's a blast. Especially the further up the White River, it seems like the bite gets better. We were up around Big M last weekend and really caught them good up there, so a really good bite up the White River. Topwater bite, again, have it handy, but don't rely on it. Spook, Sammy, Yozuri popper, whopper plopper, whatever you want to throw. Have it handy. If you happen to hit the right day, you can really catch them good on a topwater up that way. Drop shot is my #1 bite up there. Shad shaped worm, cut tail worm, UV drop shot worm. All those worms are working. Look for those fish to be out there on those gravel runouts. For one reason or another, over the weekend, they were a little bit deeper up there. Most of what we caught were from 28 to about 38 feet deep, right on the bottom, but there seems like they're schooled up much better up the White River, especially once you get from about Campbell Point up to Big M. There's a lot of fish schooled up out there. You can catch them on a drop shot rig. You can catch them on the Jewel scuba spoon too. We caught quite a few on the scuba spoon, dropping it down, banging it off the bottom. Caught several nice Kentuckys doing that over the weekend. And then the Dixie Jet was working too, casting it, reeling it through the fish, boom, or reeling it through the shad, killing it, catching a lot of fish doing that. And probably the best football jig bite is on the White River right now, from Big Creek all the way up to Big M. Probably the best location, using the Jewel either 1/2 ounce or 5/8 ounce football jig. Okeechobee blue, green pumpkin candy, peanut butter and jelly. Those are 3 strong colors up there, matched up with a green pumpkin J-tail. Working that gravel anywhere from about 18 to 30 feet deep. If you know where there's a brush pile, that'll certainly concentrate the fish, or a rock pile, and you can catch numbers of fish and some better quality fish out of brush and out of rocks while you're up there. But definitely have a jewel football jig tied on if you're going to go up the White River this week. Guys, we are halfway through August. Kids go back to school today, tomorrow, and the next day, at least in this area. And I can tell you already, just Monday, the boat traffic is down significantly versus last week. You can tell a lot of kids are going back to school, so fishing during the week is going to be great. We're going to have a lot fewer boats and a lot more peaceful on the water, so we can fish those main lake points a lot longer and a lot more thoroughly than we have been for, say, the last 2 to 3 months. We'll get past Labor Day coming up at the end of the month, and then boom, the lake is ours. Back to fishing all the time. Don't have to worry about the boat traffic, don't have to worry about the jet skis, the wakeboard boats, and everything else. But fishing has stayed strong all through the summer. It's only going to get better as things cool off. You know, guys, if you want to learn how to throw a football jig, now's the time to come down and learn that. You want to learn how to drop shot or fish a spoon, if you want to learn how to fish deep, right now is a peak time to come down and do that, because we are catching a lot of fish out there on a drop shot rig, out there on a spoon. If you want to learn how to spoon docks, it's getting to be that time of year. Usually the end of August through September is kind of the peak for flipping docks with a spoon. So if you want to learn how to do that, now's the time to come down and do that. But if you're wanting to learn something, maybe you just want to go fishing and have a good time, either way, give me a call. It's Focus Fishing Guide Service. You can reach me at 417-860-4743. Hit my website, focusfishing.com. Shoot me an email. We'll work out dates and times, or book online. Any way you want to do it, we'll figure out what works out best for you. But guys, thanks for watching the videos. I can't wait to hear from you. Take a minute to subscribe if you don't mind. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to hear from you. We'll see you on the water.